And how are you all today? Hope you must have a refreshing and rejuvenating summer break. And I also hope that you made the most of this summer vacation. Fine, children? Now, come back to our topic. Remember, from the contemporary world politics, we have discussed the chapter The Cold War Era. Now, we are going to discuss the chapter The End of Bipolarity. Means the way bipolar world ended. Fine. Now, in this chapter, basically, children, we would be concentrating on, or our discussion would be around the toppling of the Berlin Wall by the people of Germany, certainly in the year 1989, and then the historic chain of events that led to the collapse of the Second World. Okay, Second World ended, Second World collapsed, and the end of Cold War also took place. Then, children, Germany, the way it was divided after the Second World War, their unification took place, it was unified, and one after another, the eight East European countries that were the part of the Soviet bloc. Okay, these eight East European countries were the part of the Soviet bloc. It replaced their communist governments in response to the mass in response to mass demonstration. Means people in large number they came on streets. Okay, and as a result they had no other option, and ultimate thing was that they succumbed to the pressure of the common people, to the legitimate demand of the common people, and their government, communist governments had been replaced. And ultimate thing we'd be discussing that what was this Soviet system. So first we would try to understand this Soviet system in fact. Okay, that what was this system all about? Because see children, the Soviet Union as it came into existence, as the Cold War began, uh, and then the Soviet Union stood by as the Cold War began to end, not by military means, but as a result of mass actions by ordinary people, common man, ordinary men and women, and eventually, as a result, the Soviet Union itself disintegrated. That's why we would try to discuss, we'll try to find its possible factors responsible. Okay, the meaning, the causes, and the consequences of this disintegration of the Second World, and simultaneously, we also would be discussing what happened to the part of the world after the collapse of the communist regimes, and thereafter ultimate thing that how India relates to these countries now. Means how did our country, how did we succeed in having our good relationship with these countries? Fine. Now the USSR means very simple term is there. USSR stands for the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Okay, so this USSR came into existence after the socialist revolution in Russia in 1917. Remember, children, in your previous classes, in the earlier classes, you must have discussed about the Russian Revolution. Two revolutions back to back took place in the year 1917. Means 1917 had been the year of tremendous importance for the Russian. As for we Indian, 1947 year is very important. That year means we got our independence. Okay, so that year 1917, the Russian people succeeded in getting rid of the rule of Tsar. Means Tsarist Russia came to an end, and then it became a revolutionary Russia in that particular year. And how can we forget the contribution of several leaders, but led by or spearheaded by none other than Lenin. Yes, Vladimir Lenin. Fine. So, this revolution, Russian revolution, in fact, it was inspired by the ideals of socialism. And remember, children, if we talk about Lenin, Vladimir Lenin, then he was the person who established, who founded Bolshevik Communist Party, and he led this revolution from the front. Fine. And he had given a very famous thesis that was known as the April's thesis. Fine. And he was such an outstanding personality who never relied on others, in fact, who led from the front, and at last the two revolution, first in the month of February, that is popularly known as February 1917 Russian Revolution, and ultimate was and the most important was of October. Okay, October 1917 Russian Revolution. Fine. So, and he was a excellent or outstanding practitioner of Marxism, and he really inspired the communists across the globe. Fine, children. So this revolution was inspired by the leaders like Lenin and the ideals of socialism, opposed to capitalism, certainly against capitalism. Their every efforts were, and they wanted to establish or to highlight the need for an egalitarian society in which everybody's need, everybody's concern is being given due importance. Fine. And how can we forget that this was perhaps the biggest attempt in human history to abolish the institution of private property? Means in or towards the path of abolishing the institution of private property, this was perhaps the biggest attempt we ever know or ever known to us in human history, and then they went ahead to design a society consciously based on principles of equality. Fine, children? Principles of equality means equality, see the importance. And the Soviet political system, it's centered around the Communist Party. Okay. And certainly in doing so, the framers, the makers of the Soviet Union, they gave primacy, they gave importance to the state and the institution of the party, and the Soviet political system, that's why, as I told, centered around the Communist Party, and no other political party or opposition was allowed. This something is not accepted in a democratic way or towards the way of democracy. This cannot be accepted that you are giving all authority or all the powers in the hand of only one party. Opposition, rather, you are not allowing to operate. Fine. And the economy was planned and economy was controlled by the state itself. Fine, children? Economy was controlled by the state. Then, after the Second World War, the East European countries that the Soviet army had liberated from the fascist forces. Remember, after the Second World War, the East European countries that had been liberated with the effort of the Soviet armed forces, Soviet army, from the control of the fascist forces, they all came under the control of the USSR. And this group of countries was called the Second World or the Socialist Bloc. What Socialist Bloc we discussed in the previous chapter, the Cold War era as well. Fine, children? And the political and economic systems of all these countries were modeled after the USSR. Okay. And remember the Warsaw Pact, okay? The Warsaw Pact held them together. They remained together with the help of the Warsaw Pact, okay? And the USSR was undoubtedly the leader. The USSR was the leader of this bloc, okay? So the Soviet Union, it became a great power after the Second World War, and its economy, the Soviet economy, was then more developed than the rest of the world. But exceptions were there, as we know that every norms, every theory used to have one exception also. So here we do have the exception of the dominance of Soviet economy, development of Soviet economy. Soviet economy was more developed than the rest of the world except for the United States of America. Okay. As far as its communications network, energy resources are concerned, means it had a vast or a complex communications network. Vast energy resources, including oil, iron, and steel, machinery production. Okay, and a transport sector. Its transport sector that connected its remotest areas with efficiency. So this was the best part of its transportation or the transport sector overall, and its domestic consumer industries. Okay, remember children, we can't think the prosperity of a nation in absence of its domestic consumer industry. Okay, so its domestic consumer industry produced everything. Okay, this was again the best part. It produced from pins to cars, means the self sufficiency. They were almost on the verge of achieving, or they had achieved the status of self sufficiency. Fine, children. Though in quality they were a bit inferior, their quality didn't match that of the Western capitalist country. The Soviet state ensured a minimum standard, okay, a minimum standard of living for all citizens had been ensured, and government had subsidized government had subsidized the basic necessities, including health, education, child care, and other welfare schemes. Everything was subsidized, and no unemployment was there, as generally we find in every country nowadays also. And see, the present condition is, it's all about unemployment. See the way challenges are before us, not only before India, across the globe. But remember one thing, children, challenges also bring great opportunity for us. If we work in right direction, then certainly the challenges can be capitalized by us, and people are doing that. We must do that rather. See, rather than uh, cursing the situation or repenting on the condition, we must have a fighting spirit. How to go ahead, how to move ahead, how to keep going against all odds, how to make our own way. Okay, this present condition of COVID 19 has been teaching us this lesson, in fact, children. That's why the way, the platform we are using nowadays, this is because the challenge of COVID 19, and we found some other way, and the connection between the student and the teacher, between the school and the children, we are trying to bridge it. Fine. So that challenges had been converted into a opportunity as well, children. So no unemployment was there. State ownership was the dominant form of ownership. Okay. And land and productive assets were owned and controlled by the Soviet state. Fine. You must be very happy. You must be thinking that if this is the condition, then disintegration of Soviet Union must not have taken place. No, children. This is only one aspect. Just like every coin used to have the two aspects, this was the whatsoever we have discussed, the only one aspect of a coin. Now we are going to discuss the second aspects of the coin as well, their negative aspects. This system became very much bureaucratic. It became authoritarian. Means for getting your one work done, you have to move from one table to another, one person to another, one offices to another, one officers to another. Okay. And life became very difficult for the common people, for the citizens. And here now the root cause, what the people started feeling, realizing, and what pains the people very much, the lack of democracy and the absence of freedom of speech. It really made the people, it aggravated the problem of the people. Okay, so we say this absence of freedom of speech stifled people who often expressed their dissent in jokes and cartoons. Okay, most of the institutions of the Soviet state, they needed reform. Remember, children, one party system represented by the Communist Party of the Soviet Union had very firm control, very firm grip over all institutions, and this was unaccountable to the people. The worst part, that they completely lacked in accountability. Okay, they completely lacked in accountability. Okay. The party refused to recognize the urge of the people in the 15 different republics that formed the Soviet Union to manage their own affairs, including their cultural affairs. Means party never accepted, never recognized that there is a need to change. Though on paper, Russia was only one of the 15 republics that together constituted the USSR, but the real condition was something else. In reality, Russia dominated everything, and people from other regions, they felt neglected, they felt often suppressed, and it was very difficult for them to heave a sigh of relief. They were not relieved, in fact, they were not at ease, in fact. Okay, means some what level of comfort we all want, that comfort level was completely missing, children. Fine. Then arms race is a different thing. In the arms race, the Soviet Union managed to match the US from time to time, because competitor, the US, the United States, had set the bar very high. So they also tried, USSR tried to match the level in arms race particularly, but at great cost. And the Soviet Union, they lagged behind the West in technology, in infrastructure, be that the transport sector, power sector, and most importantly in fulfilling the political or economic aspirations of the citizens. The political aspirations of the citizens, the economic aspirations of the citizens, they completely lacked, in fact, in fulfilling. Okay, and then Soviet Union, they also invaded Afghanistan in 1979. Whenever you are trying to invade other territory, other nation, then remember their cost matters a lot. And then you are committed that at any cost I have to take it to the logical end, be it for the right region or be it for the wrong region. Once you have taken the decision to invade, okay, same was the case when USSR invaded Afghanistan in 1979. Their system further got weakened, though wages continued to grow. Wages kept growing, but productivity and technology, it fell considerably low. Okay, as compared to that of the West, and this led to the shortage in all consumer goods. Okay, all consumer goods, we started having the shortage. Food imports increased every year. What was it? Was bound to happen. Food imports increased every year, and the Soviet economy started faltering, was faltering in the late 1970s, and thereafter it became stagnant. At this point, children, okay, it becomes difficult for any nation, be it USSR, be it some other country, unless you take the right decision, you are going for the reform, and you succeed in ensuring its implementation. Fine, children? In case of any doubt, you are free to ask, you must ask, or you must ask tomorrow. Fine. And just go through these topics, and then I will give you a few questions also to write their answer. Try to have the concept. Children, fine, and must ask the question in case any doubt you do have. Fine. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you. Have a nice day.